Good morning and welcome to IC Bus, staying connected to the coronavirus with our customers. We've engaged in a series of communications to bring important information out into the field. Every other week, we like to have a webinar reviewing items from maintenance, bus storage, new programs, vehicle technical details, and things like that. Today, we're going to talk about Navistar IC Bus 360, a connected network between customers, our dealers, that enables best-class ownership experience. We're very excited about this program as well. We're going to have Matt Crump, the Director of Aftermarket and Fleet Accounts, talking about it. We'll have Damian Kina, our Director of Aftermarket Sales Dealer Support, as well as Alan Stegish, our Director of IC Bus Services here also. And with the next slide up. Great, thank you. So this is just the history of what we've done. We started with the storage. Now we're at session number 4, staying connected with IC Bus 360. We're going to do some service updates in another 2 weeks. Collision mitigation after that. Move into some other topics, and it's going to take us all the way into October every other week. One other thing that we've started recently, which I'm very excited about, is we're also doing a recap of the webinars as a podcast. It's a little bit shorter, it's a little bit different format, but obviously very engaging as well. So check icbus.com. We just put the number 1 out there, the storage and startup. So we put that out there as a podcast, and we'll be doing the same for the upcoming one. So always be checking icbus.com for updates. And with that, I'm very pleased to turn this over to Matt Crump, who's going to talk about 360 for us.
Awesome. Thank you, Randy. This is Matt Crump. On the other end of the line is Damian Kina. He's actually the one that's got the slideshow presentation up, and we're going to be doing some demonstration as well after we go through these slides. So Damian and I work hand in hand. He's going to be handling the demo part of it because my internet speed is really slow and you guys don't want to be stumbling through that. So welcome to IC Bus 360. We're excited about this, and we're excited to be able to bring this to you guys, especially during these times right now where we have a special offer going on where you can sign up for this service at no charge as long as you get in from now through the end of October. Otherwise, there's an annual yearly fee of $600 retail for the product that you can talk to your IC bus dealer about enrolling for. Why don't we go to the next slide, Damien? So this is all about service communication and customer accessibility to information. This is something that's been a work in progress for, when you really think about the long term of it, a couple decades in the making, and that we've brought together so many other pieces from Navistar technology and rolled it up into one dashboard to give you complete visibility to all the information that you need to best manage your fleet and have valuable information to make critical decisions. So we're all about reducing the repair duration, giving you greater uptime, reducing the overall cost of service, and overall cost of maintaining the vehicle long-term throughout its life, and improved communication and visibility to all the information that you need through our dealer network, as well as you and Navistar putting everyone on the same piece of paper for all aspects of that repair and service of those buses. Next slide. So when I say bringing this together over the last few decades, we started long ago with on-command service information. Unfortunately, some of you may be familiar with that name, Fleet ISIS, that we used to have. I'm so glad we abandoned that back in 2010. But if a lot of bus customers especially had that Fleet ISIS subscription, it's a legacy from long ago. A fleet charge program with our purchasing card program. Repair management is our estimating system, on-command connection that we launched 6 years ago now, giving you visibility to the health of your vehicles through the telematics systems that are on the buses, or from the dealer scan tools that a service technician hooks up throughout the repair of that bus. Our parts information system that we've had for a long time, but that we've completely overhauled about 18 months ago, and that is integrated into the IC Bus 360 system. Repair Advocate is kind of the first version of this that we launched 10 years ago, but it was focused on just a very small segment of the overall population of vehicles that Navistar sells. This whole system is kind of like Repair Advocate 2.0, but it's for every single piece of equipment that you have that you may bring to an international or IC bus dealer to have serviced. So it's really exciting to see that completely overhauled and expanded. Service Partner, that's a program that allows a customer to view estimates from IC bus dealers and get the standardized labor times for various operations. That's integrated into this program, and I'll show you where you have the visibility to those estimates to view and approve and see all the information contained in those estimates and have a permanent record of that. And then Repair Link, that's the new version of our parts information system that we're really excited about. And I think it's going to be pretty slick when we see the demo portion of this. Next slide. So our focus is on ease of use, bringing this all together into one portal, one login ID that seamlessly works across all of these systems and giving you one seamless workflow from identifying vehicles that are in need of repair to scheduling them, scheduling a repair order, an RO I call it, to an IC bus dealer, and then being able to track its status the entire way through and get information from other Navistar systems brought together and kept for historical purposes, as long as you are owning that bus or any other asset that you should bring in. And then APIs. So that's just a fancy way of saying that if you have a standalone system that you want to integrate into ours, so you don't have to be manually jumping back and forth between two systems, we do have the ability to give you the kind of the secret decoder ring so that your tech team can integrate directly with our system and have less manual effort going back and forth between the two. Next slide. So our experience today, some of you have multiple user IDs and passwords for Navistar systems. This is all about integrating everything and consolidating it to make it simpler for you. Most desktops, applications only, our services running today. So Windows, Internet Explorer only. This application runs on anything that you have, Mac, PC, a mobile device, Android, iPhone, you name it. It was designed to be able to use on all of those devices, not just Internet Explorer, but Chrome, Firefox, Safari, whatever browser you may have. A lot of our systems today are English only. This one from the get-go was done in English, but also French Canadian, Spanish, and when I say Spanish, Mexican Spanish, there is a difference. And because we're a Chicago-based company, the second biggest Polish population outside of Warsaw is in Chicago, so Polish is coming as well very soon. Service communications, our systems used to be focused on primarily international branded trucks, but this is an all-make system. So anything that you may own that you may take to an IC bus or international truck dealer to have serviced, we welcome every single one of those brands, no matter what they are. One vehicle list. So instead of having to manage several lists of vehicles, users, unit numbers, you name it, the idea here is that everything is all consolidated into one place to manage your account details. Repair history. So our service portal provides you with warranty details of case files, but this is about all repairs. If you crack a windshield, if you had come in for PM work, anything, any service done at an IC bus or international dealer, this system will keep a history of it, and you can use it to track that repair all the way through. Next slide. So key features. It's about faster approvals and updates, visibility to the RO status throughout the entire process. Seeing parts inventory for various diagnostic trouble codes that are happening on the vehicle. There's a way to drill down and see, here's all the parts that I'm going to need to address all of the issues that are coming off of the trouble codes from the vehicle. And this has the ability to show you which the dealers in the proximate area of that bus have the parts that are likely needed to address those issues. Remote diagnostics powered from the 26 now integrated telematics partners that we have through on-command connection system, and the ability to simply request service to assign that RO to a specific IC bus location so that they have visibility to it even prior to you arriving at that dealer location, and everyone can be on the same page and start collaborating towards having the best experience possible. And like I said in the previous slide, we support all makes. We're not brand exclusive to anyone. We'll take any piece of equipment. Next slide. Transparent communication. So the initial focus, and the main focus still, is on having great access and the ability to communicate with our dealers throughout the repair. So at a minimum, our dealers are doing a fantastic job of at least providing one, but in most cases, at least 2 updates per day on the status of every single one of those repairs taking place. So it's documenting all the history of those communications. The estimates are there, the estimate revisions are there, the approvals, who they came from, what the approval amounts are, one dashboard to keep all of this information at your fingertips, and the ability to integrate it with other systems as well, and be able to send those communications through email, through text, coming soon, probably by the end of this year, as well as not even having to log into the system, but doing things through your email account automatically without you having to have any more involvement than that. Next slide. Integrated with your system. So like I said, one of the key things we built from the get-go was the ability to have APIs that we can hand to other systems, whether that be Cummins, whether that be transmission, Eaton, Allison, you name it, as well as your integrated fleet management systems. FleetSoft is one that comes to mind. We used to have Diamond Connection Solutions, and then it became FleetSoft. That's one of our integrated providers on the on-command connection side, and we're working with them on integrating to 360 as well. So just as an example of the number of ways that we have of integrating other solutions to this product, so that less manual effort is needed between all of these smart systems. Next slide. Initial data feeds. So the IC Bus dealer directory is there for you to specify any IC Bus dealer. The VIN specific information for all the details on the service side, on the parts side, all of that is decoded into the system when we load up the VIN and unit numbers. All of the VIN specific parts information is there for each one of these vehicles, and that's all makes too, because we have the Fleetrite brand of all makes products that our dealers sell. All the service estimating data, as well as the service communication tools from the I know case files, are all integrated into the system. Next slide. So we also have coming soon fleet maintenance management solutions. We are in pilot right now with Saddle Creek, if you know them. They're based near Tampa, Florida. So all of the PMs that they are doing with the new vehicles, we are able to set up templates so that 360 gives you alerts to say you are nearing your next interval change for a PM, whether that be the oil and filter change, transmission, DPF cleaning, all of the different required and recommended services that a bus may have can be tracked through this system, so that you have, as well as the dealers have, those alerts to say it's coming soon up on the next PM interval time, or it's already due right now, or you're this many miles past your next PM cycle to be due. So all of those things are integrated, and we'll soon have that live for anyone else to sign up for as a subscription service, so that you have the benefit, and as well as the long-term tracking. You can see all the history of every single PM that's ever been done. So if you ever need to go back in time and see when all the intervals were and what services were done for those PMs, all of that's at your fingertips. Like I said, we're in pilot right now with one customer, and we'll be turning that on probably by the end of August for any customer to sign up for that service as well. Next slide. So we'll just go through some of the images, but I'm going to go through these fast because we're going to jump into the live demonstration. So this is the main page of IC Bus 360. On the left-hand side, you have navigation bars as well as alerts so that you can quickly filter the page down to just the things that you need to see. In the middle area of the page, those are individual repair orders that are taking place right now at an IC Bus or international dealer, and what the status is for each one of those. As you know, you have many vehicles at international or IC Bus dealers. That's what those filters on the left-hand side are for, so that you can quickly get to the things that require your attention or that you want to filter down to as a way to quickly navigate through the page. And on the upper right, you have that request service button. That's a key feature to be able to create a new repair order request and assign it to a specific dealer location and be able to say to them, I'm going to be at that location this specific date and time. So that gives the dealer visibility to it prior to it arriving. And now you can start collaborating, and that's like their radar screen. That's giving them a nice heads up as to what's coming, so they can start preparing what kind of resources they're going to address the issues that you're bringing in the vehicle for. Next page. So the repair order cards on the status, that what's highlighted there in yellow, parts ordered. So there's 16 different statuses of a repair, from service request, vehicles en route, it's arrived, it's in triage, has a diagnostic evaluation being done, it's in for repair, parts are on order, parts are back ordered, etc., all the way down to vehicles ready for pickup. And in this example, it's showing you it's in the parts ordered status. So as soon as those parts arrive, then the vehicle will go back into the repair status. So that gives you visibility all throughout that process. And what the dealers do on their side is, throughout the repair, they update that status to give you that visibility. So it eliminates all the phone calls. It eliminates starting a day making 10 calls to say, hey, what's the status of this repair? What's the status of that repair? It's all there for you to view on every single one of these repairs that's being done at any IC Bus or international dealer. Next slide. It's integrated with our telematics systems. So we have 26 now integrated telematics service providers, from Omnitrax, Geotab, Teletrack, Navman, Zonar is even integrated with us now, and the list just keeps growing. And that's bringing in both the location information as well as all the fault codes from those buses. So then we can see, based on those fault codes, what types of severity is it? Is it one that we need to stop now and literally shut the vehicle down and get it to the repair center as soon as possible? Or is it more informational that can help us with other things, so that, you know, things that we can keep in mind for later if it's a minor issue that can be addressed next time that bus is in for a PM service, as an example, as well as the related parts that are going to be needed to address those issues. All of that is mapped out, but it starts with the telematics system sending that health report to On Command Connection, and then being able to provide it to you in 360 as an added means of helping the dealer and helping you understand what repairs are necessary and get those things taken care of, addressed. Next slide. The asset details. So in the bottom section of the card, it expands out and it gives you all of the details for all of the information that's coming off of the service portal, as well as things that you've entered about the bus. Maybe it's tire sizes. There's spare fields that you can add other information. So if you maybe have you know, a lift that's added to that bus, or if you have an air conditioning unit and you want to add information about that to give the dealers as well as your shops visibility to that information, all of that's at your fingertips. So we built this thing to be able to provide the maximum information to help aid the repair as well as the any scheduled maintenance that's required for anything that's on that bus. Next slide. All right, so this is the portion where we're going to now jump live into the system. I'm going to pause for a second to see if we have any questions over here in the Q&A. Does it integrate with IBM Maximo? I am not familiar with IBM Maximo, but you know, if it's certainly one of the providers that we can work with and give them the APIs to integrate directly to us. So that's kind of an open-ended response in that we will work with any provider that is important to our customers, for the mutual benefit of getting the information integrated to the system. So what we have here on the screen, this is Damien's screen. I'm simulating a bus customer right now. This happens to be Florida Department of Education. And this user, Tommy, he has right now 6 different repairs. So on the top left of the screen, it's showing you all repairs and a number there, 6. So there are 6 repairs that are either in progress or have completed. And these are in the individual cards that they can pull up and access the information about. The next navigation button down, it says pinned. So what that is, if there's any particular repairs that you want to pay attention to, you have the ability of clicking this little thumbtack icon and it changes blue. And you notice as he does that, on the left-hand side, now that number went from 0 to 1. So that's an easy way that if I have 100 repairs someday, we're a year into this, and we've got 100 repairs to look through, I can tag certain ones and then be able to use that filter to easily filter down to the ones that I want to bring up real fast. Under that, you see action required in the left-hand navigation. So when a dealer has posted some type of response that they need your response to, so maybe they've changed the status from vehicle is in the diagnostics to now we have an estimate out there for you to review and approve, that number will change from 0 to 1, and that way you can quickly filter the dashboard down to just those repair orders that have some type of action required on your end. That helps call attention to things that you need to be paying attention to. If you've created any service requests, and we'll walk through the process of doing that, but any service requests that you have created, those will be identified by that service request navigation. Driver waiting, that doesn't apply to bus customers as much, but if there were literally a driver in the waiting room associated to that repair, that's where a dealer can flag that and to bring visibility to it. Pending authorization, so if there is any repair orders that are in the pending authorization status, those would be indicated by that filter. Vehicles ready for you to pick up is the next filter down. So if you have 5 buses that are all completed and it's time to send someone over to pick those buses up, that's what that would be indicating. And any that have already been delivered, so you've already picked them up, but you want to access them, maybe to view the history or just reference something, that's what that delivered status is all about. So on the upper right, you have the request service, and let's walk through the process of actually initiating a new request. So he's going to click on request service. Now he has a list of different buses by the chassis number and the unit number as well, or he can start manually type in the unit number or the chassis number of that bus to filter that list down. So he'll click on, let's just pick the first one. So now he's selected the bus. The next stage is to select the service provider. So if we were bringing this to any bus dealer, let's type in, there we go, Leonard. All the Leonard locations quickly are filtered on the screen. So he would pick any one of these Leonard bus dealers. The third step of the process is to enter the complaints that you're bringing the bus in for. So maybe the engine warning lamp is on, or we have low power. It'll always ask you a follow-up question. So is the engine warning lamp illuminated? Yes, or it's intermittent. You can enter in any notes that you want to associate to that. Click save. Now, if you have more complaints, maybe you want a PM service done at the same time, or if maybe your windshield is cracked, or if you need some body work done, whatever it may be, add in any other complaints that you have. Click on save. You can have the ability to add photographs if you want, if it is helpful. If we're done, we click on next. And now we check to make sure that all the VIN and unit information is correct, and then enter the estimated date and time of arrival. So he can specify, I'm going to be bringing this in at 7 a.m. and next Wednesday, or any date he picks. And then is it towed in? Yes or no? That's more on the truck side, especially on the over the road. But if it is happen to be towed in, you can identify that to the dealer here. If everything looks good, at this point he will click on submit service request. We're not actually going to do that because he did it anyway. That's all right. So on the dealer side, it'll now come up on their portal to say, hey, here's a heads up. This bus customer intends to bring in this vehicle to your location. Here's the reasons they're bringing it in based on those complaints that the customer has specified. Here is the health report information from the telematics system. If we have a telematics system on board the bus that's communicating to us, it gives that dealer the visibility to it. And here's the date and time that they intend to arrive with that bus. So now we're all on the same page, and as a dealer, I can start aligning the parts I know are going to be needed, the technician and the skill level that's going to be necessary to handle these repairs. Or maybe I can be in contact with that customer to say, hey, if you have some flexibility in your schedule, actually next Thursday works a heck of a lot better because I'm jammed on Wednesday, and I know the technicians that I need are not going to be available till Thursday. And now so that helps. So we're not wasting anyone's time, and we're collaborating on those repairs. Or maybe it'd be better to bring it to my other shop 20 miles up the street because they have the better availability or more parts that are going to be necessary, whatever the case may be. And those kind of little things can really add up to overall help the repair be faster, work out better, and align us to make a better repair experience for all involved. So when I say we're integrated with a number of other systems, let's just go through a couple examples of that. In the middle section of the top repair there, you have the VIN number of that bus. This is a 2018 IC bus. And as he clicks that VIN number, what it's going to do is open that bus into, it's in the other tab that he's got, but it's opening our service portal right now with that VIN already entered. So we can go across those tabs and see this is the summary page right now. It's showing you the date that that bus was built, the time in service, as well as the warranty documents, the links to those. The health report tab has scan data from various scan sources, whether that be a telematics scan or dealer scans that have been done throughout the history of that bus. On the components tab, it's going to show you the major components of the bus, and if you click on any one of those, it'll open that up into our parts catalog. But then what's really cool is on the warranty coverage tab. That's the parts catalog example. So you have all of the individual documents right at your fingertips, so that any customer that wants to see for various areas of the bus, what's my warranty coverage, and do I still have coverage, yes or no? That gives you quick access to all those warranty documents, and even on the right-hand side shows you whether they're still current or whether that time period or the mileage has expired, that particular warranty info. Then the warranty history tab. So any warranty jobs that have been done throughout the history of this vehicle will be captured here, as well as the dealer location that's done the work. And then in the column on my browser, it's kind of covered up right now with the magnifying glass, but on the first column it has the warranty claim number, so I can view the warranty details for any one of those warranty claims that have been done. So just an example of integration between multiple Navistar systems going on. Back to the 360 tab. If I click on the bottom right, there's a little icon that says parts. Clicking on that brings up all the parts details for this bus. This is our new powered by RepairLink system. So if any of you have been familiar with the previous parts information system, this is the next generation of it. It's a lot cleaner interface. It allows you to quickly identify maintenance items, all the chassis parts, all the engine parts, crash parts even. And there's a logo on the options column so that you can see if there is a Fleetrite alternative to this part. Fleetrite is our in-house Navistar brand that's sold through our IC Bus and international dealers. If I go to the detailed list tab on the upper left, so that'll bring up all the major component areas of the bus. And then I could quickly drill down in any one of those categories. So brakes, he's just going to randomly pick some type of brake part. So there, that fast, it brought the schematic drawing of the brake item, and it's showing you which of those part numbers are identified. And then there's a detailed list below. And then the system actually has the ability to allow you to select each item and actually place orders for those items as long as you're set up with a RepairLink account through your IC Bus dealer or international dealer. They would fulfill that parts order on their side after you've selected and placed the order through here for those that have ordering capabilities in the RepairLink system. So that's a really slick tool that's all integrated through the i360 system. And that fast, if I am just looking to identify what part it is on my bus, maybe I don't know the part number, but I know what it looks like and I know where it goes, I can drill down quickly and identify those items and even place an order for them through the IC Bus dealer. Back to the 360. So going through the areas of the repair order, on the upper left-hand side for each card, you have the unit number that you've entered and loaded with the fleet when we do the initial customer load. Below that is the latest communications that have sent for this repair by either the dealer or you on the customer side. But if I wanted to see all the details, communication details, what he's done is clicked on the More button, and he's showing you on the right-hand side all the communication history from the moment that repair order card was first opened through the present, latest communication. And then if I want to add any more communications, I have the ability to enter a new comment by simply clicking that back arrow. And now I can open this communication box and type in any test notes that I want. Now I can mark this communication. Action required. That means that I am sending you a note, Mr. Dealer, and I expect you to read that note and respond to the note that I am posting. I may also have attachments that I want to add to it, or I can actually add a note as internal note. That means only people at my company, so if I'm ABC Bus Transportation, only other people at ABC Bus Transportation, other users, will have visibility to that note. Navistar does not have visibility to it. The dealers don't have visibility to it. That's a feature customers requested that we built into this. I can also send this note as an email. So by default, anything that I type in will be added as a note to the RO. But if I also want to copy specific dealer email addresses, those will be listed there for me to either select from, or if the email address isn't there, I can type in that email address and it'll be added to my list next time so I can quickly select it. So here's all the email addresses already associated to that dealer and to this bus. So I can quickly select those. Or any others that I want to add, I can manually type those in, and they'll be there for future folks as well as myself to select. Once I'm happy with that note, if I've added any attachments or any photographs and have everything written the way I want, I can click on send, and that note will be added to this RO card as well as sent to any email addresses that I've copied on here. So that way, we're keeping everyone on the same page and having better communications between the dealers and our customers. Dealers on their side can do the exact same thing, and they can mark it as action required. And if they do that, if they mark it as action required, then the next time that you're in the portal, that filter on the left-hand side, that'll be some number. And if it's 1, that means you have 1 RO card with an action required. The dealer needs you to look at something and respond to them. And likewise, if you do the same thing on your side, that means you're asking the dealer, hey, I've posted a comment that I need you to take a look at and respond to. All right, so in the bottom left-hand section of the RO card, you have the overall dwell time represented by days and hours. ETC, estimated time of completion. So our dealers set the estimated time of completion and they can revise it throughout the repair. But then based on the estimated time of completion and the overall dwell hours, you have a bar, a colored bar below that. And it's showing you, this one is expected to be done today. So that's why that bar is already yellow. If the dealer marks it as I'm not going to be done with this until next week, then that bar would be completely green until we got within 24 hours of that estimated time of completion. Then it would start turning yellow to red. In the middle section, you have details about that bus. This is a 2018 CE. It has a Cummins engine. That's the VIN number. We already looked at that. Now it's showing you the mileage in both miles and kilometers, as well as the engine hours. That's from the latest telematics scan off the vehicle at midnight every single night. The way we have this system be able to load the page very fast is we collect all that information and preload it. If I want to get live information from the latest scan, I can click on this refresh little icon, and it's going to go out and grab the mileage and the engine hours from the latest scan. In this particular case, the latest scan is older than 7 days, so that's why it's indicating that. But if the bus has a telematics, usually that's every 15 to 30 minutes that it's collecting updated mileage from the odometer as well as engine hours. And that's how you can live refresh it if a scan is more recently than midnight is available. On the right-hand side, we have the customer name that was entered by either the dealer at the time of write-up or by the fleet. Now, that name is highlighted means that I can expand the page down, and there's other details about the fleet. We call that the fleet profile details. So in this case, fleet expectations, all non-warranty work requires estimate and pre-approval. So you as the customer have the ability to put any expectations that you have. Maybe you have a certain approval limit that if it goes over this amount, you need the dealer to create an estimate. If you have specific context related to the repair of those buses, VIN specific, you can list all the contacts. Here's the primary one. Here's the backup contact if he's not available. Here's our third shift contact if that's necessary. Any documents that you have that you want to load for each one of the vehicles. So maybe you have a maintenance document for a wheelchair lift or something else that you want to attach to it. Maybe a specific PM document that you need filled out by the dealer when it's in for PM work, or a yearly state certificate that you need filled out to get authorized by the state each year. Whatever that may be, any documents that are PDF, Word documents, Excel, or otherwise can be added and associated to those vehicles. And other enrolled programs. So if you're a member of On-Command Connection, Service Partner, fleet charge, all those can be identified. If we go to the Health tab, what it's going to do is show you the latest information from this last scan that was done off of either the telematics device or the dealer scan tool. In this case, it's the dealer scan tool, and it's showing you here's the dealer location that it's at, even down to the specific bay based on the GPS coordinates. And then we look down at the fault section below. Here are the individual faults that are coming from that scan tool. And here's the diagnostic trouble code. Here's the basic description of it. And then what's really cool is that Find Parts button. So based on these individual trouble codes, here's the overall list of parts that's going to be needed to address all of these issues. In the bottom right-hand corner, you see parts available. There's 19 associated parts that are going to be likely needed. And we can select the nearest 3 dealer locations to that vehicle based on the GPS. And it'll show you, based on that dealer's parts inventory, and this is live data coming from their systems, how many of those needed items are on the dealer's shelf. So even as you're selecting what dealer to bring it to, this can help you identify the best dealer location or which has the most parts that you're in need for the specific trouble codes that are present. All right, close that out. So if I go back up now to the top of that card, so right now what he's done is this RO card is expanded, and we're on the Health tab of this expanded card, but he can click on this less button and the card will shrink up. So now that consolidates the page so you can scroll down and have visibility to all of the different ROs that are happening. Now in that middle section of each one of these ROs, it shows the service provider location. So in this case, there's one at Recteen. Actually, there's a few at Recteen International. One's in Florida. I thought I saw another location as well. But the details for each of those service providers are available as well for you to click on. So if he clicks on provider details, it opens it up to our live dealer directory. And it's showing you the details for that specific location. They're in Fort Lauderdale. Here's their hours of service. Here's the contact information, phone numbers, the parts desk hours, the sales hours, the service hours. All those details are there. And then back to 360 tab. So then on the right-hand side, below the customer name, you have a PO box. Some customers like to include a PO number initially, or some that like to add that at the end of a repair, but that box is there for you to add that PO number if you have one at any time. And then once that is entered, instead of saying pending entry, that'll be updated to show you the PO number. We showed you the health report link. Let's go ahead and click that link again to show how it expands that RO card down. So by doing that, it's expanded that card, and we're landed on the Health tab of that expanded card. So that's showing you how we got from the consolidated card to the expanded one, where we're showing the location of the bus, the last known location GPS, as well as all those fault code details that are below it. And then that link to the Find Parts icon. Now, if I click on the health history of that vehicle, what's actually going to do is bring up every single diagnostic trouble code that has been generated from that vehicle over time. It's going to go into the Health Report tab in our service portal, and all the previous health reports will be there as reference. whether those are coming from a telematics device or a dealer scan tool, and it'll show you the source of that tool. Go ahead and close that out. And then if I click on that health report link, just under where it says accelerator, what that'll do is open up the latest health report details for that vehicle. So if you're familiar with our on-command connection system, this is really the heart of that system. This is showing you the vehicle details in the upper left, then the scan details on the upper right, date and time. And our health reports run in 7-day cycles. So it'll show you the current date and the current cycle of when that health report started. So in this case, this one was started on the end of last month, June 30th, and it's based on that health report that was generated at that time. And there's no more recent ones. And here's the dealer that did that scan, Recti International. And if I scroll down that health report, in the recent scan history for this vehicle, it'll show you any previous scans that have been done from a dealer or from a telematics device. Those will be coming in from. Any warning lamps that are on the dashboards that the driver would see would be displayed here. And they also be shown in graphical illustrations in yellow. So you are seeing the same warning lamps that potentially a dealer is seeing. All the trouble codes that are coming off of that vehicle are listed in the next section down, as well as the severity icon. And then the fault code action plan, that gets now into almost technician level diagnostic troubleshooting, showing you very detailed information related to that particular trouble code and what labor operations, what specific parts, what training links, what driver training videos, anything associated with that diagnostic trouble code is all going to be summarized in that fault code action plan, FCAP. That's what we call those. And that's a really powerful tool for both customers as well as technicians to be able to faster diagnose and identify what needs to be done on the vehicle and then guide them through the process of making those corrections. So that's for an individual code. If I want to see a summary of all of those fault code action plans for the vehicle, there is a resource impact plan report in the upper left-hand side. RIP. So if I open that report, it takes all those individual diagnostic trouble codes as well as all the other vehicle information that's available and puts it into one overall summary document to show you here's the overall labor operations and here's the list of complete parts that are going to be needed to address every single issue identified on that vehicle. And then it's giving you information at the top to say here are, based on the problems, 5 of 6 of those have an overall plan, the technician skill level that's going to be needed based on all of the repairs, the overall time, 5 hours, 54 minutes in this case, at a minimum, or up to 12 hours maximum, based on all the individual problems that we need to address. And I won't go into too much details in this one. This is more technician level information. But especially for those of you that have your own technicians in your shops, this is just an outstanding tool to help guide them through all the vehicle repairs that are necessary and what to do about them, identifying the parts, even the special tooling that may be necessary in some cases, the diagnostic troubleshooting steps, and on and on. Each one of these is like a snowflake though. It's based on the individual bus and the problems that it's having. So when I say live, it's generating those on the spot and updating them based on even feedback that you're providing based on questions that'll prompt you to answer, such as, is a dashboard light on? Is it having this problem always, intermittently, just at vehicle startup? On and on. It's this very smart dynamic system that's really unique to Navistar and IC Bus. All right, back to 360. So we started out the demonstration by showing live the process of creating a service request. Let's, in the upper right-hand corner, that was that green button. And then there was 4 steps in that process. Let's go over, Damien, if you would, to on-command connection. And I just want to show you, because these two systems really work hand in hand. On-command connection is a fabulous tool to help you identify what buses in your fleet are having problems, and then giving you guidance as to what things are necessary to be done and how urgent it is to get those things taken care of. So on-command connection helps you identify those things, but then with 360, you have a way to schedule that work to be done and manage that repair the rest of the way. So in on-command connection, we have a new button now, Request Service. So based on your list of vehicles that you've found in on-command connection that need attention, you now have the ability right from on-command connection to click on Request Service and go through those same 4 steps of identifying the vehicle, identifying what dealer you want to bring that vehicle to, listing any problems that you're having and what work you want to have done, and then stating the date and time you intend to arrive. So as you know, on-command connection is coming up on 7 years old. This is an enormous enhancement to on-command connection that's integrated to our 360 system. So you have that ability to now identify the bus with the problem, as well as help you take the actions to get those problems addressed at the IC bus or international dealer that you want to bring that bus to. We've covered a lot of ground here, and I'm coming up on 11:53 Central Time. So let me take a pause and just look at the Q&A section for a second and see what questions have come in. And if anyone should have any questions they'd like to post, please go ahead and do so with that Q&A section. Let's see. If a customer currently has Zonar, do they need to be connected with Navistar through on-command connection in order to get fault codes through 360? So for those of you who have Zonar and want to get on-command connection, that is enabled. You need to talk to your Zonar rep and have them enable the data to be passed to on-command connection. And then doing so would enable those health report scans to be visible in the 360 system. So short answer to the question is yes. We just need you to contact Zonar to have them enable that system. They will give you the credentials to enter into on-command connection. And once those are entered, all that information starts flowing over. But even without the Zonar integration, you would still have visibility to all the dealer scans from tools the technicians are hooking up to the bus throughout the repair. Does on-command parts information have more bus-specific parts in the catalog compared to the general parts catalog? It should be the exact same parts information. I think the question is related to the new Repair Link upgrade of the on-command parts information system. So it's based on the same directory of parts that were originally built on that bus at the factory, but then it also is identifying, especially on the all-make side, any other parts that can fit with the Fleetrite brand or by Cummins as well. There's a lot of Cummins parts that are mapped out and available as well in that Repair Link system. And it's just a lot easier, a modern interface, but it's based on the same background knowledge of parts that are available in both systems. It's just a major upgrade to the parts information system. Can the dealer enter a fleet profile for a customer that does not have 360? No, so the customer would need to be an enrolled customer in 360 in order for the fleet profile information to be displayed. Without the customer being enrolled, just basic information pertaining to that specific vehicle is displayed, but nothing else customer specific unless they are enrolled 360. Does the parts lookup also show the prices? In the ordering information, whatever prices you have set up between you and the associated dealer that is fulfilling those parts orders, that's the pricing that would be used for that repair link system. So if there's a fleet charge specific pricing, that's what would be used. Otherwise, it's whatever pricing levels that are established between you and the local dealer that's fulfilling the order. Panelists, presenters, any other comments that you guys may have as you've been listening as well?
No, I think it was excellent, Matt. I really liked the demonstration. So, any questions, feel free to put them in or send them in after the fact. We'll do our best to answer them. We appreciate everyone coming. And in 2 weeks, next one will be a service update. And this should be a lot of fun as well. Again, this is open to everybody, our fan customers, our fan dealers, and of course the Navistar personnel. So thank you very much. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, everyone.
And if you're interested in 360, please talk to your IC Bus dealer or international dealer to get you enrolled so you have visibility to this system, as well as any other systems Navistar has that you would like access to that we showed you today. And thank you, Damien, for helping me on the demo side.
No problem, Mike. Great job.
Thank you, too.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Damien.
You bet.
Yep.